Atomic Discipline, The Power of Unstoppable Focus. Written and published by Spoken Quora. Introduction. The missing key to success. Imagine waking up every morning with unshakable clarity. No hesitation, no distractions, just relentless focus on your goals. Picture a life where discipline isn't a struggle, but second nature, where every small action compounds into unstoppable success. This isn't about willpower or motivation that fades. It's about rewiring your mind to make discipline effortless. In this audiobook, we'll unlock the secrets of the world's most disciplined people, elite athletes, top entrepreneurs, and peak performers, who have mastered self-control and turned it into their greatest superpower. If you've ever battled procrastination, struggled with inconsistency, or felt stuck in a cycle of wasted potential, this is your breakthrough moment. Because success isn't about waiting for motivation. It's about building atomic discipline. Let's begin. Chapter 1. The Power of Discipline. Why motivation is not enough. Motivation, it's the spark we all seek when we want to make a change. You've probably experienced it before. That initial burst of excitement when you decide to start a new project, get fit, or chase a big dream. It's thrilling, right? But here's the catch. Motivation is fleeting. It's like a spark that ignites a fire, only for that fire to burn out after a while. You wake up the next day, and the passion feels dimmer. You wonder why your enthusiasm has faded, and before you know it, you've abandoned your goal altogether. Sound familiar? That's where discipline comes in. Unlike motivation, discipline is not a temporary surge. It's the steady fire that keeps burning. It's the ability to keep moving forward even when the excitement fades, when distractions creep in, and when the road gets tough. In fact, the most successful people don't rely on motivation. They've mastered the art of discipline, and that's what separates them from the rest. Think about the top athletes, the high-performing entrepreneurs, or even those people you admire for their consistency in work or fitness. Do you think they wake up every day feeling motivated? Probably not. What they have, though, is something far more powerful: discipline. Motivation might help you take the first step, but it's discipline that keeps you on track. Motivation is like a jolt of energy that pushes you to act, but it's temporary. Imagine it like a spark that catches fire for a moment, but soon fizzles out. It's exciting at first, but it doesn't last. Discipline, on the other hand, is the consistent force that drives you to keep going, even when things get tough. It's the fire that doesn't need constant fuel to stay alive. Discipline is built on routines, systems, and habits, things that you rely on even when you're not feeling your best. When motivation is gone, discipline kicks in and keeps you pushing forward. Now, you might be thinking, but I've heard so many motivational speeches and I've tried to get pumped up. Why does it still feel so hard? That's because motivation, as powerful as it feels in the moment, isn't enough to create lasting success. Motivation is an emotion. It comes and goes like the weather. Some days, you're full of energy and excitement. Other days, you feel drained and uninspired. The real issue is that most people don't have a system in place to keep going when the initial surge of motivation fades. They don't fall back on routines or processes that make success inevitable. Instead, they let their emotions dictate their actions. That's why they start projects with enthusiasm, but halfway through, they're burned out and ready to give up. Here's the thing. Success isn't built on random bursts of effort. It's built on steady, consistent action. Whether you're trying to grow a business, get fit, or learn a new skill, it's not about the big, dramatic moves. It's about showing up every single day and doing the work even when you don't feel like it. Ever noticed how hard it is to stick to something new? Whether it's waking up earlier, eating healthier, or learning a new language, the struggle is real. The reason it's so challenging is because your brain is hardwired to resist change. It wants to keep things comfortable, familiar, and easy. But if you want to create lasting change, you have to train your brain to embrace discipline. Your brain is like a muscle. It gets stronger the more you use it. The more you practice discipline, the easier it becomes to make those small, consistent actions part of your everyday routine. But it takes time, it takes commitment, and it requires you to push through those moments of resistance when your brain is telling you to take the easy way out. So, how do you turn discipline into a superpower? The answer is systems. Systems are the structures that keep you on track when motivation wanes. They're the daily habits, the routines, and the processes that ensure you keep progressing, no matter how you feel. For example, if you want to get in shape, you don't just rely on motivation to hit the gym. You create a system. You schedule your workouts, prepare your meals in advance, and set small, achievable goals. These systems take the guesswork out of the equation and allow you to focus on the actions, not the feelings. If you're an entrepreneur, success doesn't come from sporadic bursts of creativity. It comes from developing habits that keep you focused on your goals every day. Whether it's setting aside time to work, breaking down your tasks into manageable steps, or surrounding yourself with a supportive team, systems help you move forward, no matter how motivated you feel. Motivation is temporary. Discipline is permanent. Motivation comes and goes, but discipline sticks around to ensure progress is made, even when enthusiasm fades. Success is built on routines, not random bursts of effort. The most successful people are consistent. They don't wait for motivation. They rely on systems to keep them on track. Your brain is wired to resist change, but you can train it for discipline. Just like a muscle, your ability to be disciplined gets stronger the more you practice it. With time and commitment, discipline becomes second nature. If you're ready to stop relying on motivation and start building your own systems for success, the power of discipline is waiting for you. It's time to create the routines and habits that will turn your goals into reality. Chapter 2, Atomic Habits, Atomic Discipline, The Secret of Small Wins. You've heard it before, Rome wasn't built in a day. And yet, how many times have we set lofty goals, only to be overwhelmed by the enormity of the task? We want to change our lives, but the big picture seems impossible. But what if the secret to achieving anything you want lies in the smallest of steps? James Clear, in his book Atomic Habits, uncovered a profound truth that can change the way you approach your goals. Tiny habits lead to massive results. In fact, if you improve just 1% every single day, by the end of the year, you would be 37 times better than you were when you started. That's the power of atomic changes, small, consistent actions that compound into massive transformation over time. The most disciplined people in the world don't achieve success through radical leaps or grand gestures. They achieve it by making steady progress, one small win at a time. This is what turns an ordinary person into a high performer. It's not about sudden bursts of effort. It's about creating tiny, atomic habits that build up to something extraordinary. Let's take a look at a simple, relatable example: becoming an early riser. You might have tried in the past to wake up at 5 a.m., but it felt like a huge challenge. You set the alarm, but when it goes off, the bed feels way too comfortable, and you hit snooze again and again. What's the problem? You're trying to make a huge leap from your current routine to something drastic. But here's the trick. Instead of forcing yourself to wake up at 5 a.m. overnight, start small. Aim to wake up just 10 minutes earlier each day. At first, this small change may feel insignificant, but over time, those 10-minute increments will add up, and in just a few weeks, you'll be waking up an hour earlier without the struggle. This is how atomic habits work. You're not pushing yourself into discomfort. You're simply making a small change that you can easily build on. This approach works because of something called compound growth. Just like money in a savings account, small actions compound over time to create massive results. The key is consistency and focusing on small wins that feel manageable. When you achieve these tiny victories, your confidence grows and you feel motivated to keep going. So, what's the secret of disciplined people? They don't rely on motivation, and they don't wait for the perfect moment. They focus on making progress, no matter how small the step. Every day, they work toward their goal, sometimes in tiny increments, sometimes in bigger strides, but always moving forward. This mindset shifts the focus away from perfectionism. It's not about trying to do everything perfectly or all at once. It's about focusing on progress rather than perfection. When you make progress, even in small ways, you gain momentum, and that's how true change happens. One small win at a time. To make lasting change, the best approach is to start small, so small that you can't possibly fail. When you make your goals and habits so tiny, they're practically foolproof. For example, if you want to work out more regularly, don't aim to run 5 miles on day 1. Instead, start with a 5-minute workout. That's it, just 5 minutes. At first, this may seem too easy, but here's the trick. Once you start, you're much more likely to keep going. Once you've built the habit of working out for 5 minutes, you'll naturally want to do more. As the habit becomes ingrained in your routine, you'll find that those small steps will gradually grow into bigger ones. The key is consistency. By making your habits so simple and small, you eliminate excuses. You can't say, "I don't have time," because 5 minutes is so easy to find. And soon enough, that 5-minute workout will grow into something much larger without feeling overwhelming. One of the most powerful shifts you can make when building atomic habits is to focus on identity change rather than just the outcome. It's easy to say, "I want to work out," but a much stronger mindset is to say, "I am a person who never misses a workout." This subtle shift in perspective can make all the difference. Instead of seeing your habit as something you have to do, you start to view it as a part of who you are. The more you identify with that new version of yourself, the more natural the habit will feel. For example, imagine telling yourself every day, "I am someone who is consistently disciplined," rather than "I need to be disciplined." When you see yourself as someone who is disciplined, you start to act in alignment with that identity. You begin to make choices that reflect that self-image, and the habit becomes easier and easier. One final key to success in building atomic habits is to track your progress. It's easy to get discouraged when you don't see immediate results, but tracking helps you see how far you've come. Whether it's a habit tracker, a journal, or simply checking off a box on your calendar, measuring your progress helps you stay motivated and reminds you of how consistent you've been. Remember, what gets measured gets improved. By tracking your small wins, you reinforce your commitment to your goals, and you make it harder to backslide. Start small. Begin with tiny habits that are impossible to fail. Don't try to do everything at once. Focus on identity change. Instead of focusing solely on the goal, see yourself as the type of person who consistently works toward it. Track progress. Measuring small wins keeps you motivated and helps you see how far you've come. Atomic habits may seem simple, but they have the power to completely transform your life. By focusing on small wins, building consistent habits, and tracking progress, you'll achieve more than you ever thought possible. Remember, it's not about big leaps. It's about small, consistent steps that add up to big results over time. So, what small change can you make today to start building the life you want? Chapter 3. The Mindset of a Disciplined Person. Have you ever wondered what separates the world's most disciplined people from everyone else? Is it their physical strength? Their time management skills? While these are certainly important, the true difference maker is something more foundational. Mindset. The disciplined person doesn't simply wake up early, stay focused, or push through challenges because it's easy. They do it because they have mastered their mindset. They've trained themselves to see challenges as opportunities, discomfort as growth, and discipline as freedom. Take, for example, Jocko Willink, a former Navy SEAL and one of the most disciplined people on the planet. Jocko lives by a simple but powerful phrase: discipline equals freedom. He wakes up every morning at 4:30 a.m., not because it's comfortable, but because it strengthens his resilience and sets the tone for the day. To him, discipline isn't something restrictive. It's the key to unlocking greater freedom in his life. His mindset is a reflection of a deep belief. Discipline is the pathway to true success. The most disciplined people don't just follow a rigid routine. They approach each day with purpose, ready to embrace the discomfort that comes with growth. They don't shy away from hard work. They lean into it, knowing that it's the very thing that shapes their character and brings them closer to their goals. So, how can you develop this mindset? Let's break it down. One of the most powerful shifts you can make is to reframe discomfort. We live in a world that promotes instant gratification and avoids anything that feels uncomfortable. But here's the truth. Discomfort is a sign of progress. Every time you step out of your comfort zone, you're stretching your limits, building resilience, and growing stronger. If something feels difficult or challenging, it's usually because you're doing something you've never done before, or you're pushing yourself further than ever before. Instead of running away from that discomfort, embrace it. Let's take an example. Imagine you're training for a marathon. The first few weeks are brutal. Your legs ache, your lungs burn, and you start questioning your decision. But as you continue to run, your body adapts. The discomfort eventually turns into endurance. That's how growth works. It's uncomfortable at first, but the more you push through, the stronger you become. Instead of fearing discomfort, welcome it. When you begin to associate discomfort with progress, you'll start to see challenges in a whole new light. Another key to building a disciplined mindset is self-talk. The way you speak to yourself has a profound effect on how you approach your goals. Disciplined people don't leave room for negotiation. When they set a goal, they don't debate whether or not they'll follow through. It's non-negotiable. One of the most powerful phrases you can adopt is, "I don't negotiate with my goals." This simple yet effective mindset change keeps you committed to your objectives, no matter the distractions or obstacles that may arise. When you tell yourself, "I don't negotiate with my goals," you eliminate excuses. You make a promise to yourself, and you keep it. Self-talk isn't about being overly harsh or demanding. It's about creating a sense of personal accountability and building mental toughness. When you say, "I'll do it later," that's your mind negotiating with you. When you say, "I'm doing this now," you're in control. This type of inner resolve is what fuels consistency and unwavering discipline. In today's world, distractions are everywhere. From our phones to social media to constant notifications, it's easy to lose focus and get sidetracked. But disciplined people know that focus is everything. They create environments that foster deep, uninterrupted work and eliminate anything that weakens their concentration. Start by identifying your biggest distractions. Is it your phone? The TV? A cluttered workspace? Whatever it is, you need to remove it, even if it's just temporarily. A disciplined mindset means you are fully committed to the task at hand and nothing will take you off track. This could mean turning off your phone during work hours or setting specific times for checking emails and social media. It could mean creating a tidy, quiet space to focus or setting clear boundaries with others. When you eliminate distractions, you send a message to your brain. This time is for me and my goals. The most disciplined people in the world understand that it's not about luck or talent. It's about mindset. When you train your mind to view discomfort as growth, eliminate distractions, and commit fully to your goals, you create an unbreakable foundation for success. Here's a recap of how to develop a disciplined mindset. Reframe discomfort as a sign of progress, not something to avoid. Develop powerful self-talk by telling yourself, I don't negotiate with my goals. Eliminate distractions to protect your focus and stay on track. As you begin to adopt these principles, you'll notice that your mindset will shift. You'll stop seeing challenges as obstacles and start seeing them as opportunities for growth. You'll start to see discipline not as a limitation, but as a pathway to greater freedom. Discipline isn't about doing what's easy. It's about doing what's necessary to achieve the life you want. And once you master your mindset, you'll find that discipline becomes not just a habit, but a way of life. So, what's one small mindset shift you can make today to start building a more disciplined version of yourself? Chapter 4. The Science of Self-Control. If you've ever found yourself giving in to temptation, whether it's indulging in a late-night snack, scrolling through social media instead of working, or procrastinating on important tasks, you're not alone. Our brains are wired for instant gratification, and fighting that urge can feel like an endless battle. But what if I told you that self-control isn't something you're born with? It's a skill you can strengthen, just like a muscle. Your brain has two powerful forces at play: the instant gratification monkey and the rational decision maker. Imagine your brain as a tug-of-war arena. On one side, the instant gratification monkey is screaming, "Why wait? Have that dessert now. Check your phone." On the other side, the rational decision maker is calmly whispering, "If you wait, you'll feel better later. Stay focused. Your goals matter more." This internal struggle happens every day, and it's one of the main reasons why we struggle with self-control. But here's the good news. Self-control is not a fixed trait. It's something you can improve over time with the right strategies and mindset. Let's start with an interesting study that perfectly illustrates this battle between instant gratification and long-term rewards. In the famous Stanford marshmallow experiment, researchers placed a marshmallow in front of children and gave them a choice. They could eat the marshmallow right away or wait 15 minutes and get 2 marshmallows instead. The children who waited to receive the bigger reward later showed better life outcomes, such as higher SAT scores, better health, and more success in life. The key takeaway from this experiment is that self-control, the ability to delay gratification, plays a huge role in determining long-term success. It's not that the children who ate the marshmallow right away were bad or lazy. It's just that they didn't have the same ability to resist temptation in the moment. Now, the good news is that self-control is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Every time you make a choice that aligns with your long-term goals rather than instant pleasure, you're exercising your self-control muscle. And just like lifting weights makes your physical muscles stronger over time, exercising self-control consistently will make it easier to resist temptation in the future. But here's the catch. Self-control isn't limitless. Just like you can't bench press 100 pounds on your first try, you can't expect to resist temptation perfectly all the time. Your self-control can get fatigued if you push yourself too hard without breaks. The trick is to train your self-control in small, manageable ways to build it up gradually. So, how do you build stronger self-control and win the battle between the instant gratification monkey and the rational decision maker? Let's explore a few powerful strategies. 1. Delay gratification. Practice waiting. The first key strategy is to practice delaying gratification. Every time you resist a temptation, you're reinforcing your self-control. If you feel the urge to check your phone during work, tell yourself you'll check it in 10 minutes. If you want to eat that dessert but know you're not hungry, try to wait for an hour before indulging. You don't have to be perfect, but practicing small delays adds up. You'll train your brain to recognize that waiting for a bigger reward feels better in the long run. The more you delay, the easier it becomes. 2. Control your environment. Make bad habits hard and good habits easy. Your environment has a huge influence on your self-control. If you're constantly surrounded by temptations, whether it's junk food, social media, or clutter, it's harder to stay focused and resist. The best way to strengthen your self-control is to control your environment so that good habits are easy and bad habits are hard. For example, if you're trying to eat healthier, keep healthy snacks at eye level in your kitchen and hide the junk food. If you're trying to limit screen time, put your phone in another room while you work or study. By removing the cues for bad habits and making good habits more convenient, you set yourself up for success. 3. Use the 10-minute rule. When tempted to quit, wait 10 more minutes. The 10-minute rule is a simple but effective technique when you're tempted to give up or give into a bad habit. When you feel like quitting, whether it's during a workout, a challenging task, or resisting a snack, tell yourself, wait 10 more minutes. This short delay gives you time to let the impulse pass. Often, you'll find that after waiting, the urge to give in disappears, and you're able to continue on with your task or goal. It's an easy way to avoid making impulsive decisions in the heat of the moment. To summarize, self-control is all about making intentional choices that prioritize your long-term goals over short-term pleasures. The more you practice delaying gratification, control your environment, and use strategies like the 10-minute rule, the stronger your self-control becomes. Every time you choose to resist temptation, you're building a stronger foundation for success. Just like lifting weights gets easier as your muscles grow, practicing self-control gets easier as you strengthen your ability to make better decisions. So, next time you're faced with a tempting choice, remember, you have the power to choose. And the more you choose wisely, the easier it will be to win the battle for self-control and create the future you want. Chapter 5. Beating Procrastination Forever. We've all been there, staring at a task you know you need to do, but somehow you can't bring yourself to start. Maybe it's a project for work, a workout, or even something as simple as replying to an email. But instead of diving in, you delay. You scroll through your phone, clean your desk, or do anything except the task at hand. Procrastination can feel like an overwhelming wall between you and your goals, but it's not about laziness. It's about avoiding discomfort. At its core, procrastination isn't a lack of willpower. It's a psychological coping mechanism. Your brain is hardwired to avoid discomfort, and tasks that feel overwhelming, stressful, or unclear trigger that avoidance. But here's the thing. Procrastination isn't just a bad habit. It's a pattern of thinking and feeling that you can break by taking control of your actions. Procrastination isn't a sign of weakness or lack of discipline. It's a response to fear, uncertainty, or discomfort. When we put off something, it's usually because our brains are trying to protect us from a negative emotion associated with that task. Whether it's the fear of failure, the pressure to be perfect, or simply feeling overwhelmed, procrastination is often the result of emotional avoidance. However, the truth is that avoiding the task doesn't make the discomfort go away. In fact, it often makes it worse. The more you delay, the more stress piles on, and the cycle continues. So, how do you break free from this never-ending loop? The answer may be simpler than you think. Mel Robbins discovered a game-changing technique called the 5-second rule, which can help you overcome procrastination once and for all. The premise is simple. When you feel the urge to procrastinate, you count down from 5, 5-4, 3, 2, 1, and immediately take action. The beauty of this rule is in its simplicity. When you count down, your brain is forced to shift gears. Instead of thinking about how hard or uncomfortable the task will be, you focus on the countdown. It tricks your brain into moving before you can overthink or hesitate. The 5-second rule isn't about motivation. It's about momentum. By taking that first action, no matter how small, you create a chain reaction that propels you forward. The more you use this technique, the easier it becomes to act without hesitation, and soon, procrastination will no longer control you. The 5-second rule is incredibly effective, but it's just one piece of the puzzle. Let's dive into a few more strategies that will help you conquer procrastination for good. 1. Break tasks into micro steps. One of the biggest reasons we procrastinate is that the task at hand feels too big or overwhelming. When we look at a project in its entirety, it can be hard to know where to start. Instead of focusing on the entire task, break it down into micro steps. For example, instead of thinking, I need to write a 10-page report, break it down into small, actionable steps. Start with, I'll write the introduction, or I'll write for 10 minutes. By focusing on just a small portion of the task, it feels more manageable and you're less likely to put it off. This strategy helps you get over the initial hump of hesitation. Once you start working on one tiny step, you'll find that the rest follows more easily. And remember, action breeds motivation. The more you work, the more motivated you become to keep going. 2. Use the 5-minute rule. If you find yourself overwhelmed by a task, try using the 5-minute rule. Commit to working for just 5 minutes. It sounds ridiculously easy, but that's the point. By starting with just a small commitment, you're easing yourself into the task. More often than not, once you've worked for 5 minutes, you'll want to keep going. The hardest part of any task is getting started, and once that initial resistance is overcome, you'll likely find yourself in a productive flow. 3. Make your commitments public. When you keep your goals and commitments to yourself, it's easy to back out or put them off. But when you make them public, something shifts. You become more accountable to others, which increases the likelihood that you'll follow through. For example, if you're planning to exercise, tell a friend, or even share your goals on social media. Knowing that someone is counting on you or that others are aware of your commitment can push you to take action, even when you'd rather procrastinate. Accountability is a powerful motivator. When you share your goals and progress, you're not just accountable to yourself, you're accountable to others who will encourage and support you. This added layer of responsibility makes procrastination much harder to justify. The key to beating procrastination is understanding that it's not about laziness. It's about avoiding discomfort. By using strategies like the 5-second rule, breaking tasks into micro steps, and creating external accountability, you can rewire your brain to take consistent action, no matter how uncomfortable it feels. Remember, procrastination is just a pattern of behavior that you can change. It's not a sign of weakness or failure. With the right tools and mindset, you can overcome procrastination forever and start making progress toward your goals, one small action at a time. Chapter 6. Routines that build mental strength. Discipline isn't something you find or inherit. It's something you build. It's the result of consistent actions that shape your habits and, ultimately, your mindset. If you want to strengthen your discipline and make it a permanent part of your life, you need to establish a rock-solid daily routine that works for you. Think about some of the most disciplined and successful people in the world, like Elon Musk. He plans his day in 5-minute blocks. Every minute counts, and every task has a designated time slot. By dividing his day into such small chunks, he maximizes productivity and ensures that nothing falls through the cracks. And it's not just Elon Musk. Top CEOs and world-class performers share a common thread. They all have structured routines that set them up for success. You may not need to schedule your day down to the minute, but the key takeaway here is this: discipline thrives on systems, not on willpower. A disciplined person doesn't rely on motivation to get things done. They rely on their systems, their habits, and their routines. Let's explore how you can build your own routine to improve mental strength and enhance your discipline. Start your day with intention. The morning sets the tone for the rest of your day, and a strong morning routine will help you hit the ground running. High achievers like Tim Ferriss, Oprah, and Tony Robbins all have powerful morning rituals that get them in the right headspace for peak performance. These routines are tailored to their needs, but there are common themes that can work for anyone. Start with something active, whether it's a quick workout, a brisk walk, or stretching. Exercise is one of the best ways to wake up your body and mind, and it also releases endorphins, making you feel energized and motivated. Next, consider incorporating reading or listening to something inspiring. It could be a book, a podcast, or even a motivational speech. Learning something new in the morning helps stimulate your mind and sets a positive tone for the day. If you can take time for deep work in the morning, this could be the time you dedicate to your most important tasks, things that require focus and creativity. The morning is when your brain is freshest, and tapping into deep work during this time can lead to exponential productivity throughout the day. Deep work is a concept introduced by Cal Newport in his book Deep Work, and it refers to periods of time where you engage in focused, distraction-free work. High-disciplined individuals know the power of deep work. They make it a non-negotiable part of their day. This is where you give your full attention to a single task, free from interruptions or multitasking. To implement deep work into your routine, start by blocking off specific periods of time, whether it's 45 minutes, an hour, or longer, dedicated to a single task or project. Remove distractions completely during this time. Turn off notifications, close irrelevant tabs, and set your phone on airplane mode. Set a timer for your deep work sessions. This could be a Pomodoro timer. Work for 25 minutes, take a 5-minute break, or a longer block, depending on what works best for you. Having a set period of time will help you stay focused and motivated to complete the task at hand. During these deep work sessions, focus exclusively on the task in front of you, whether it's writing, designing, coding, or brainstorming. The goal is to give your full attention to the task for the entire duration, allowing you to achieve maximum productivity and quality. Your routine doesn't end when the workday is over. End-of-day reflection is a powerful habit to help you review your progress and prepare for tomorrow. At the end of each day, take a few minutes to reflect on what you accomplished and where you can improve. Start by asking yourself these questions. What went well today? What could I have done better? Did I stay focused and on task, or did distractions get the best of me? Did I prioritize the most important tasks, or did I get sidetracked? By reflecting on your day, you can gain valuable insights into what's working and what needs adjustment. This kind of self-awareness helps you fine-tune your routines and make adjustments for the future. The next step is to set priorities for the following day. Identify the most important tasks you need to complete and set clear goals for the day ahead. This ensures that you're focused on high-impact activities and not just spinning your wheels. Having a clear roadmap for the next day also reduces decision fatigue and helps you hit the ground running when you wake up. To summarize, here are a few daily habits that will build your mental strength and discipline. 1. Morning routine. Start the day with intention, exercise, reading, and deep work. Use your morning to prime your mind and body for success. 2. Deep work sessions. Set aside distraction-free time for focused work. Prioritize the most important tasks and give them your full attention. 3. End-of-day reflection. Review your day, identify areas for improvement, and set priorities for the next day. This keeps you accountable and ensures that you're always progressing. A disciplined mind is built through consistent routines. These routines may seem simple at first, but over time, they compound to build a strong foundation for success. Just like any muscle, your discipline grows the more you work on it. The key is to stay consistent, build systems that work for you, and remember that discipline is the process, not the end result. Start building your routine today and watch how your mental strength and your life transforms. Chapter 7. Overcoming setbacks with discipline. Discipline isn't about perfection. It's about persistence. It's about showing up day after day, even when things don't go as planned. You might fall down, face challenges, or encounter failures along the way. But true discipline isn't shaken by setbacks. It's strengthened by them. Failure is a natural part of the journey to success. It's not the end of the road. It's simply a detour, a lesson, or a moment of growth. Kobe Bryant, one of the most disciplined athletes in history, once said, "Rest at the end, not in the middle." The same principle applies to life. When things go wrong, don't quit, adjust, learn, and keep pushing forward. The path to success is rarely linear, but that's where discipline truly shines. It's what keeps you moving forward, even when everything seems to be falling apart. So, how do you stay disciplined after facing a setback? Let's explore how to stay disciplined after failure. 1. Learn from mistakes, but don't dwell on them. Failure is not something to fear. It's something to learn from. The key is to take lessons from your mistakes without letting them define you. When things go wrong, instead of getting stuck in regret or frustration, ask yourself, what can I do better next time? Learning from your mistakes allows you to adjust your approach, fine-tune your strategy, and move forward with a clearer perspective. The most successful people don't avoid failure. They embrace it as part of their growth. What separates them is their ability to bounce back stronger, faster, and smarter. However, it's important to not dwell on the mistake. Don't let it consume your thoughts or take up unnecessary mental energy. Recognize it, learn from it, and then move on. The longer you linger in the past, the less energy you have for the present and future. 2. Have a reset ritual. One of the most powerful ways to regain momentum after a setback is to have a reset ritual. This is a small, simple habit you perform to signal to your brain that it's time to start fresh. It could be something as simple as taking a deep breath and visualizing your goals, writing down what went wrong and how you plan to fix it, going for a walk to clear your head and reset your thoughts. A reset ritual helps break the cycle of negative thinking and refocuses your energy. It shifts you from a state of frustration or defeat to one of clarity and purpose. The more consistent you are with your reset ritual, the quicker you'll get back on track when setbacks occur. The idea is to not let setbacks snowball into a bigger problem. Instead of letting failure paralyze you, have a quick routine that helps you get back on track, no matter how big or small the setback may be. 3. Remember your what. Discipline thrives on purpose. Without a clear sense of why you're working toward a goal, it's easy to give up when things get tough. Your why is your anchor, your motivation, and your reminder of why you started in the first place. When you face failure or difficulty, it's easy to lose sight of your goals. But reconnecting with your why can reignite the spark that keeps you moving forward. Ask yourself questions like, why did I start this journey? What is the bigger picture? How will this setback get me closer to my long-term goals? Remember, discipline is not about pushing through just for the sake of it. It's about staying committed to something meaningful to you. Having a strong sense of purpose makes it easier to endure setbacks because you know why you're doing it. It becomes less about the temporary obstacles and more about the ultimate vision. Discipline is about persistence, not perfection. It's about making consistent effort, no matter how small, and pushing through when things get tough. Each setback is an opportunity to prove to yourself that you won't quit, that you can adapt, and that you're resilient. When you encounter challenges, remind yourself that you are not defined by your failures. You are defined by your ability to keep going, to learn, to grow, and to persist. Failure is not the enemy of discipline. It's the test. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is how they respond to failure. Do you let it stop you, or do you use it to fuel your growth? Here's a quick summary of how to stay disciplined after failure. Learn from your mistakes, but don't dwell on them. Use them as stepping stones to better strategies. Have a reset ritual that brings you back to the present and gets you moving again. Remember your why. Let your purpose drive you, especially during challenging times. Discipline is the ability to stay the course even when the path isn't clear. So, keep pushing forward. Your setbacks don't define you. Your persistence does. Chapter 8. Mastering Atomic Discipline for Life. You've learned the principles. You've discovered the science, the strategies, and the mindset behind lasting discipline. But here's the truth. Knowledge without action is useless. The real magic happens when you take action and start applying what you've learned. Now it's time to take that first step toward mastering atomic discipline. You've read the books, heard the stories, and gathered the insights, but none of it matters if you don't put it into practice. Discipline is something you do, not something you know. The path to mastering atomic discipline starts with a simple challenge. Pick one habit and commit to it for the next 30 days. It doesn't have to be something huge or complicated. It just needs to be something small and non-negotiable. Here are some examples. Wake up 30 minutes earlier every day. Work out for 15 minutes each morning. Read 10 pages of a book before bed. Spend 2 hours every day on deep work. This isn't about perfection. It's about consistency. It's about showing up every single day. No excuses, no exceptions. The key to mastering discipline isn't making huge, overwhelming changes. It's about taking small, consistent actions that build over time. The reason we're focusing on 30 days is because it's long enough to form a habit, but short enough to keep the commitment manageable. By committing to just one habit for a month, you give yourself the opportunity to see how small actions can lead to massive changes. The power of atomic discipline lies in its compounding effect. A small, positive habit that you commit to every day has a way of stacking on itself, gradually transforming not only your behavior, but your entire life. By the end of 30 days, you'll see the impact of your effort in a way that feels natural and rewarding. The goal here isn't just to complete 30 days. It's about mastering discipline. When you make one habit non-negotiable, you train your mind to stay committed. You train yourself to follow through, no matter what. That's the true power of atomic discipline. Remember, discipline is like a muscle. It grows stronger the more you use it. So, as you push through the discomfort of those first few days, you'll start to notice how much easier it gets. Your willpower will strengthen, your mindset will shift, and your confidence will grow. Small actions create massive change. Just 1% improvement every day adds up to 37 times the progress in a year. The smallest habit practiced daily can make a world of difference. Mindset shapes discipline. Your mindset is the foundation of your discipline. If you believe you're capable of sticking to your habits, you will. It all starts with a shift in perspective. See discipline as freedom, not restriction. Master discipline, and you master your life. Discipline is the key to unlocking your potential. It's the bridge between where you are now and where you want to be. When you take control of your habits, you take control of your life. The challenge is simple but profound. Pick one habit, commit to it for 30 days, and watch your life change. You have the tools. You have the knowledge. Now it's time to take action. Are you ready to master atomic discipline and transform your life? The journey starts today. Conclusion: your new life starts now. Congratulations! You now hold the secret to atomic discipline, the power of small, consistent habits that will build an unstoppable life. This is the moment when everything changes. No more waiting. No more excuses. Your disciplined future starts now. The best part? You already have everything you need. It's in your hands, in your mind, and in your daily actions. The path to transformation begins with a single step, and that step is entirely up to you. Are you ready to make your goals a reality? Let's take action. Make today the first day of the rest of your life by choosing just one habit and committing to it. If you can do that, you're already on your way to becoming the disciplined person you've always wanted to be. What's one habit you're going to commit to for the next 30 days? Drop your goal in the comments below, and let's hold each other accountable. I'd love to hear what action you're taking to master your discipline. If this video resonated with you, make sure to hit the like button. It lets me know you want more content like this, and helps others find the tools to transform their lives too. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss another video on mastering discipline, building success, and creating your best life. This is just the beginning, and I've got even more powerful insights coming your way. Share this video with a friend who needs to hear this message. Maybe they're struggling with procrastination or lack of motivation. Your share could be the catalyst that changes their life too. Leave a comment with your biggest takeaway from this chapter. What's the one thing that will help you take action and stay disciplined? I'll be responding to comments, and I can't wait to hear from you. Together, let's master atomic discipline and build the future we deserve, one small step at a time.